I did get the invite. Take a picture crying in front of your wall, come back to my hotel and find 3 people.
Gigantic sex vacation. They're encouraging as much sex as possible. They openly encourage you to get drunk and push you into like party spaces. Not just married, they should just do it tonight. Like get them in bed tonight. I woke up and there was a knock on my door and a young woman had just come to the door who I'd never met before, and she was just like offering herself up. I woke up later that night and my roommate it was on the balcony looking out over the Dome of the Rock getting a hand job.
In this video, Dave Smith discusses an invitation he received to visit Israel, which, according to his source, came from a high-level official. Max Blumenthal not only encourages Dave Smith to go, but also recommends that everyone watching visit and see the reality for themselves. Blumenthal also shares his own experiences from when he visited. Watch the video and share your thoughts in the comments.
Dude, what happens? I gotta ask you, right? Because I have somewhat famously never been to Israel. After that, I did get the invite, which I turned down. I was told this came from the top, that I was invited there. And I was like, no, I'm not going. I don't know what it is you guys do and what these you have to come to Israel trips are, but I'm not going over there. I'm not doing any of this. I've read too much about this, and I don't want to go take a picture crying in front of your wall. And I don't want to come back to my hotel and find 3 people are already inside it, or like things have been rearranged to intimidate me. Like, no, I'm not doing this. But from your understanding, and you've been there many times, what is it that they do to these guys on these trips? Why do they always want people to come to Israel? And what is it that happens on these trips?
Well, first, this is our first time talking, so I would say I would really urge you to go. Just fly in there, fly to Ben Gurion International Airport, get out and just see it as a tourist, and then go to Jerusalem, go to East Jerusalem, see how Palestinians live. You can just walk right in there. And I can tell you what bus to take from there for $2 into Ramallah, and you'll go through the apartheid wall, and then you'll be in occupied Palestinian territory, and you can just see it all for yourself. And I really recommend everyone do that. And there are various ways to make contact with local activists and NGOs, even Breaking the Silence, former Israeli soldiers, NGO will take you on a tour of occupied Hebron in the West Bank and show you what they had to do there as soldiers. And I think that's all you really need to see to understand apartheid, is to go to H2 in Hebron, which is an entire part of a Palestinian city that has been sectioned off for some of the most fanatical genocidal settlers. And Shahada Street, which goes through the middle of H2, is a Jews-only street. There are actually signs that tell you where Palestinians can walk and where Jews can walk. And you can go there and see that yourself, and you can talk to the soldiers who are there on duty. And they don't actually many of them don't like the settlers, and they're really bored and annoyed by the whole thing, but they're just following orders to participate in this genocidal project. So I think it's like, once you see that and you see apartheid for yourself, it really does give you an important authority that I think someone with your communication gifts should get. So if there's any way I can help, let me know. And everyone watching this, you should be encouraged to do that. Those who go on the AIPAC trips, which all freshman members of Congress get invited on, do not have that experience. And I personally had a similar experience because I went on Birthright Israel when I was much younger and was just starting to explore this issue, and I would characterize my mentality at that point in my life when I was 22 years old as liberal Zionist.
In the next part of the video, Blumenthal shares his experience on a Birthright trip to Israel, which was quite different from an AIPAC-sponsored trip. Unlike the Birthright or a regular tourist trip, an AIPAC-sponsored trip doesn't give you the same freedom. They only take you to places they choose and show you what they want you to see. On the other hand, with a Birthright or tourist trip, you have more freedom to explore, see things for yourself, and learn with an open perspective. If you are enjoying the video, please like it and subscribe to the channel. It really helps motivate me to create more content like this. Now, let's continue with the video.
After returning, I shifted permanently against Zionism because I started paying closer attention to what was happening. The Second Intifada began, but we were like wined and dined. There was very little sleep. It was like an electrifying experience. There was so much group camaraderie. On the Birthright trip, it's also this gigantic sex vacation. They're encouraging as much sex as possible because then you'll associate Israel with eros, with like eroticism, but also they want to encourage generational continuity because, you know, as Jews, we don't go and convert other people. We only multiply through procreation and marriage. And it really, like, they openly encourage you to get drunk and push you into like party spaces. I did a video about this called, I think it's called Ziowana for the Real News Network, where I went back and covered as a journalist a Birthright mega event that Netanyahu spoke to. All the big billionaire donors were there. What's his name? Michael Steinhardt, who's one of the biggest Zionist donors in the US, told me, I said, you know, do you want them all to get married? Is that why you're doing this? And he said, not just married, they should just do it tonight. Like get him in bed tonight. It was like sick. And then they literally push him into a nightclub setting, and like some of the soldiers are like there, like young, attractive female and male soldiers will start dancing with them. And like, I would see that take place. The last night of my Birthright trip, I was like exhausted, and I woke up and like there was a knock on my door, and a young woman had just come to the door who I'd never met before, and she was just like offering herself up. And I mean, you know, maybe some people watching this will laugh at me, but I just shut the door and went back to sleep. I woke up later that night, and my roommate it was on the balcony looking out over the Dome of the Rock, getting a hand job. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? And, you know, the freshman members of Congress, there's like a famous story or infamous story that I think even Politico reported, where they all got so drunk in Tiberias, at Lake Tiberias, in Tiberias, the city of Tiberias in northern Israel, that they took off their clothes, and at least one member of Congress took off his clothes, Ben Quayle, who was the son of former Vice President Dan Quayle, and jumped into the Sea of Galilee. And they just had this drunken kind of like midnight swim. That's what they're doing to them as well. And then, you know, a lot of them are like used car salesmen from suburban Texas who could have never gone to Israel, who have these Christian Zionist biblical beliefs, and they believe, and they're taken on a free trip to see the land of the Bible. Palestinians don't even exist in their mind. Yeah. They see Muslims as terrorists. So Jim Jordan is one of them. And my friend Liam Cosgrove from Zero Hedge.
I know Liam, yeah.
He was interviewing Jim Jordan. I just was like standing next to him while he was interviewing him at this this kind of like weird conservative press gaggle where like young members of different Republican members of Congress could engage with different conservative media outlets. And I was kind of tagging along, waiting for Randy Fine to walk in. Anyway, he asked Jim Jordan about his support for Israel. And Jim Jordan says, Israel is above all other issues. It's not a political issue. It's a spiritual issue. And there's no criticism allowed. I've been there 6 times, and I'm looking forward to going again. And there is no questioning the alliance with Israel. And so that's how I think the Republican members of Congress see it. Then for the Democrats, it's like, it's becoming uncomfortable for them. A lot of them aren't going on these trips, but you have like Democrats like Wesley Bell, who are basically just paid tools of AIPAC. And if they refuse to go, they're out of Congress. Like Wesley Bell was brought into Congress specifically to destroy Cori Bush because she was taking up the mantle of the Palestinian cause. And AIPAC spent like $12 million to get this backbencher St. Louis alderman into Congress with Super Bowl style ads. And none of the ads, by the way, had anything to do with Israel. They set up these stealth packs like Americans for Democracy and Fairness. And Cori Bush voted against Joe Biden's supplemental bill on the, you know, it's all like, and it's all that. So they just have to go. And then it's like a humiliation ritual for them where they have to go to the wall and they have to go to the Gaza border. And I mean, did you see the picture that the Democrats or various senators took with Netanyahu?
Yep.
And Cory Booker, you can just see his forehead behind someone because Netanyahu owns him. Cory Booker's whole career is sponsored by Zionist billionaires. And he had to be in that picture, but you could tell he didn't want to show his face. So that's the Democrats. But yeah, on these trips, the other thing that happens on these trips for lawmakers is they're all under surveillance. Like their hotel rooms are surveilled. Everything is being watched, and Israel's gathering tons of intelligence on the US government through them.